Ever since 2 CinemaCons ago, Rob, that they showed us the first previews for the upcoming Michael biopic, where we went, oh my God, this is going to be huge. And then, of course, delays. And then oops, we made a third of the movie out of material we're not legally allowed to talk about. So now we got to go back and reshoot the whole damn thing. And now maybe it's going to come out as 2 different movies. Well, the first fully fleshed out trailer for Michael has dropped online. And I sat down and watched it. And without anybody, Anne was still asleep when I was watching it. In a living room by myself, I audibly said out loud, this is absolutely going to be a $1 billion film. The folks over at Variety write about this thing. Michael Jackson biopic chronicles the rise from child star to the king of pop. The king of pop is about to reclaim his throne on the big screen. Lionsgate has released a new trailer for Michael, its highly anticipated biopic, tracing Michael Jackson's journey from his early days with the Jackson 5 to his ascent as a global superstar. The film aims to capture both the spectacle and the contradictions of the artist who came to be known as the king of pop. And, one of the things this trailer really does highlight is the thing that they've been describing, which is this is going to be the earlier years of his ascension to the throne, of him becoming the biggest star in the world. Now, there's a whole bunch of story in the life of Michael Jackson to tell after he already ascends to the throne, but that's probably looking like it's going to be split into a second film. We'll see how that all kind of turns out. But, we said for a long time that, ever since we saw the first previews, like, if a movie like Bohemian Rhapsody, which came damn close to being $1 billion film, it was north of 900 million that it made, this is going to shatter that if it's done well. Now, they attached director Antoine Fuqua, which you don't get a lot better than that. And then they went and cast Michael Jackson's nephew, which I at first was, that seems kind of gimmicky. But then I saw some footage of him as Michael Jackson. I'm like, no, probably the right call. Probably the right call, getting Jafar Jackson to play his uncle. Because, man, does he look and sound right. It becomes immersive. Now, I'm not the type of guy who believes you have to get somebody who looks just like the person. I don't normally believe that. But I got to say, watching this, it was so bang on. It was rather immersive. I was immersed into it. This is a guy who literally became king of the world. Not literally, figuratively became king of the world without social media, without YouTube clips, without the tiki-talkies, without the Instagram reels, without Facebook, without any of it. And he became the king of all pop culture when he did it. And I'll tell you what, Rob, I watched this trailer. And then when I watched it a second time, I thought to myself, if this was just a movie, if this wasn't based on a real guy, if this wasn't based on Michael Jackson, I don't necessarily think it would be $1 billion film, but I remember thinking, I would watch this movie. If this was just a purely fictional movie about a made up character and it wasn't real, I would still look at this trailer and think, this looks pretty good. It's going to make a ridiculous amount of money, Rob. I've been saying I believe this is $1 billion film. After watching this trailer, I stand by that. This is going to be the first $1 billion musical biopic we've ever had. Anyway, you had a chance to watch the trailer. What did you think about it?
Well, from the very beginning, seeing any of the footage that we've seen, it just looks spectacular. We've talked in this show about how musical biopics are always kind of the same, but I love them. I love documentaries about bands, and I love musical biopics. And I know, because there's only so much you can do. No one's going to become a space alien in a musical biopic. It happens, Outsiders become singers. Their band, they make a band. It becomes successful. Success drives them apart, or they take drugs, or whatever the hell happens, and then everything falls apart. I get it. But the thing about the Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson is inherent to this story is the story of an American family. And the Jackson 5 were huge before Michael went off on his own. Like when I was a kid, A, B, C, everyone knew that. Like everyone knew the Jacksons when I was a kid. It was just they were part of the fabric, and they were already sort of an American myth. And then when Michael started doing stuff solo, like Off the Wall and Thriller, and I mean, those songs were so iconic, and they were pop songs that were everywhere. Everybody listened to those songs. And the power of Michael Jackson's music, the reason that he became the king of pop, was his music transcended every boundary, every international boundary, every religious boundary, every political boundary. You know, when you hear Billie Jean, there was something inherent, and his partnership with Quincy Jones, he created something that got into your soul the way good music does, whether it's classical, whether it's a classical guitar riff. You hear the first strains of Billie Jean. Everybody knows that song, even now. I mean, that song is what, 45 years old? Came out, I don't remember, early 80s.
I can't even remember, yeah.
Everyone knows that song, like everybody. And you around the world.
Is there a single song on the Thriller album that you could play the first 10 seconds of and not have people know exactly what song it is?
I don't think so.
I
think
agree. I don't think so.
I don't think so. And this is something that is unique, I think, in human history. And I think that everybody's going to be interested in this story because it is inherently a family story. And it's a story that springs from there. And you see how great is he.
Coleman Domingo. Yeah,
Coleman
nails it.
Domingo is killing it.
Nails it.
When
Killing it.
when Michael says, I need to think,
Yeah.
and then the dad says, I already told you what to think. I'm like, oh, that's the moment I'm like, even if this wasn't a true story, I'd want to watch this movie.
And not only that, Anton Fuqua can do no wrong. This is the man who directed Olympus Has Fallen and Training Day. Bring it on. Bring it on. I mean, I'm a huge fan. And he can do a Western. He can do anything. And then the guy, he wasn't really in the trailer, but the guy they cast up, I forget the actor that's playing Quincy Jones himself. He was awesome in that.
Yeah.
I mean, the acting in this movie, I expect that there's going to be Academy Award nominations across the board for this. I can't wait to see this movie. It looks incredible.
Guys, we want to take a second and thank the sponsor of today's episode, PrizePicks. Well, the big game is almost here, and there's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than with PrizePicks, where it always feels good to be right. With the football season coming to a close, this is your last chance to jump into football action before next year, and PrizePicks is making it easy by giving you $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. What I've always loved about PrizePicks is how simple it is. You're just picking more or less on player projections, building your lineup, and rooting at home while you watch the game. I also really like their early payouts feature. If a player gets off to a hot start, you can cash out before the game even ends. And with the new social feed, you can follow other players, copy lineups that you like, or use them as inspiration for your own. So don't miss out. Download the PrizePicks app today and use the code CAMPEA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CAMPEA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. Guys, question is for you. What did you think about this? Did you have a chance to watch the new trailer for Michael? If so, what did you think? Maybe it didn't work for you and then it just didn't kind of click. That's all fine too. But what do you think about our assertion that we think this is going to be a $1 billion film? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.